Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Mark Hope Show. I'm your producer, Daniel Kelly, and
I'm your host, Mark Hope. Really appreciate all you Facebook listeners out there. For anybody that's unfamiliar with the show, we like to actually record the podcast here in the studio, and then we allow the Facebook Live to happen. And basically, this is the show about the show. So whoever's watching the show can chime in the comment section of the Facebook Live experience, and we talk about the people that are in the audience. We answer questions, and we're just really kind of taping the experience of the show, which hasn't popped up for me yet, Daniel.
Yeah, we're good. We're live. Okay.
Chime in.
There you go. Yeah, we're good. You gotta turn off your sound.
But if I expand it, then I get the comments and who's chiming in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're getting.
Let me mute my phone.
Yeah.
Because,
Definitely want to do that.
Great show tonight. Robbie Farrow just chimed in. He's a famous musician guy.
Really?
I don't know if you know that. He has his own band and does all that stuff. But Randy McCorkill from Texas, he's a car guy.
Okay.
But tonight we're going to have Mark Jackson on, and a lot of you people know him as a great wide receiver in the Broncos football history. One of the three amigos back in the day. Great guy, and we're going to have him on the show. And as everyone knows, we talk about business, and we talk about small business, and we talk about helping people. We talk about people growing and improving, and that's one of the reasons that I really, really am going to enjoy having Mark on the show, because he, for anybody that doesn't know him, he is a great man as far as really getting down and really helping people. He does several different things, and I won't take away from the show, but he's a guy that will help you out. And so we're gonna get a chance to showcase some of that stuff with him on the show. Daniel, maybe we can go ahead and reach out to him, see if we can get him on the show.
Yeah, let's get him going.
I know that he's on a time crunch tonight, so he's gonna have to go around the top of the hour. So if anybody has any questions that they want to chime in the comments and ask Mark a question, we'll try to relay those. Anything that doesn't get answered during the show, we're gonna leave all of Mark's contacts and the contacts to the show. People can reach out, as always, to get in touch with us. The show is going to be sponsored by Action Computers and marketinghope.com. And we're going to be coming on with a new sponsor of the show, Phantom 8 Tattoos, down on Broadway.
Really? All right.
Yeah, great people down there. We're going to be doing some stuff with them that's really exciting. But
all right, I think I'm ready whenever you are. We can get him on.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That means I got to put on the headphones that I don't want.
You have to put on the headphones, otherwise he will not hear you. But you won't be able to hear him. Okay.
And let's face it.
You want to hear him.
Hearing Mark Jackson is what we're all here for.
Right, absolutely. Okay. Here we go. So get him going here. Okay. All right.
Hello, it's Mark.
Mark Jackson.
Hey.
Mark Hope with the Mark Hope Show.
Hope.
That's exactly right.
Mark.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show, man. I know you're busy, and we're not going to take up too much of your time tonight. I know that you've got another meeting that you've got to be at in about a half an hour, but I really want to tell you that we really appreciate you coming on the show, and I know the listeners are going to get a lot out of it. So thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks, brother. Thanks for having me.
So, when I teased the show in the beginning introduction, one of the things that I said is a lot of people know that you're a football player and you played for the Broncos, and they may know a lot of other things about you, but I don't think what they know about you is you're helping people. I mean, that has really become your theme in the last 10 years of your life, right?
Yeah, Mark, it's a theme in my entire life. I was born in 1963, a poor black child.
There
Kind
you
of
go.
like Steve Martin in The Jerk, but
Right.
true.
I'm old enough to get that reference, unfortunately.
I was born in the projects of Chicago, Illinois, and I grew up. My brother was a gangbanger. My other brother, thank God, he was drafted into the Vietnam War, and that sounds kind of funny, but it made a huge difference in his life because when you're surrounded by poverty and you're surrounded by crime, it's kind of hard not to be broke or in jail. So,
isn't that something, that it was safer for him in Vietnam than being in Chicago back in the day?
Isn't that ironic, right?
That is unbelievable.
He has his issues too, though. So I think we all do. But
that's a fact.
Suffice it to say, he's thriving right now as a retired man, owns several properties, pays cash. Just bought his wife a Tesla, that $118,000 car or something. That was pretty cool.
Good for him.
It's not about the money or the things that you have, but the path that you take in life. And he and my other brother, who's in jail right now, had two different paths, and I had my own path. And because of my background, because of my upbringing, because of the way that my mother raised me, basically my dad left when I was 3 years old, so didn't get a lot of input from him in my life. But my mother made sure that she instilled some value in me and some values that literally the one of giving, the one of caring about other people, sometimes even more than yourself, which for me, that's as I get older, sometimes I wish I didn't have that trait. But I guess if I had to choose between being benevolent and being very self-absorbed and stingy, I guess, I think I'd choose benevolent every time. But, yeah, Mark, I like giving because I know that things were given to me. People were placed in my life to get me to the place that I got to. Playing in the NFL was just, I think, gravy. I think as a person, my personality was pretty much etched in stone by the time I was 10 years old.
Yeah, it just comes down to you have to work.
Absolutely.
I think that it, I came up poor too. And, I think one of the things that happens when you have the benefit of coming up poor is you realize that you have to work or else you're not going to get anything. And in your case, you worked hard enough to get into the NFL. And then after that,
it's called work ethic. Yeah, you're right, man. Most people that meet me, if you met me in a mall or on a street or at a charity event, I tend to disappoint people because almost 90% of the time, and I think 100% of everyone I met for the first time said it, but about 90% of the time, people say, "Man, you're really small. You're a lot smaller than I thought you were." And I was like, "No, the big fat sweaty guys that were chasing me that are abnormal size. I'm normal size."
Right.
But
right.
Because of my work ethic, because of like you were referring to, how I was raised and where I came from, I really had an appreciation for everything, and maybe not the same. Maybe guys that had more when they were younger. Maybe didn't have that appreciation, so maybe they didn't have that drive. So when they hit an obstacle, it tended to stop them. And literally, in college, I experienced that. I went from like the 15th best receiver on the team to first or second, arguably second, if not first best receiver on our team. How did that happen? Well, I just kept showing up. I wasn't a scholarship guy. I walked on. So when I tell people that, and maybe some of your listeners, if they're sports fans, they know what that term walk-on means. But if you don't, a lot of people have seen the movie Rudy. So whenever I ask that question, they said, yeah, we saw Rudy, or they'll raise their hands. And I was like, well, I was the Black Rudy of Purdue. Not much talent, but a lot of heart and love for the sport of football. And literally, if I could think about anything that actually elevated me to play in the NFL, was the work ethic that you talked about, and the fact that I absolutely love football. I mean, that's what kept me in the game. That's why I kept showing up to get beat up every day. You know what a walk-on is? That's the guy that is the live blocking dummy.
Tackling dummy, right.
There you go. They used to have linebackers just tackle me to practice their tackling. And if we're playing Ohio State that week, maybe I had on Chris Carter's number. If we're playing Michigan that week, I had on their top receiver's number. And of course, the coaches would draw up all the plays that those different teams ran consistently. So the guys pretty much knew where you were going, and they would meet you there. And, well, the results were usually not very good for me. But I kept showing up. As I look back at it, I was like, man, I must have been half crazy to do that.
But, you know, sometimes that's what it takes. I mean, you just have to keep coming back. And, you know, we talk about it on the show a lot of times. You know, if you fail 9 times out of 10, that 10th time, that's the one that does it. And in your case, it was getting into the NFL. That's a pretty big win.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, in hindsight, I don't think very many people could see that coming from Mark Jackson. As a kid, I was pretty sickly, could barely breathe. Sometimes I would have these asthmatic attacks on my lungs, and I couldn't even walk upstairs, a full flight of stairs. I would have to stop. I remember those days and just wanting to die because, no kid wants to not be able to go out and run and play with the other kids. And so, that's kind of the background that I came from. So I don't think you could project that. Small, even today, I'm still vertically challenged, but I played in the game with a bunch of giants. And literally, my football career is just, like I said, it's a byproduct of basically my upbringing.
Well, and I draw the corollary there because, we all have these chapters of our lives and, yes, you play professional football. Yes, that's just a really great thing. That's absolutely in the rearview mirror right now. It's something that we enjoy looking back on. But, I like to have you on the show because I think I know a lot of things about Mark Jackson that a lot of people don't know about. And going up against a lot of the monsters that you face today, I think that that's just as exciting of what you're doing for these people and their small businesses and some of these people that, especially with your credit repair services that you offer to people, you are really helping them face down some giants that are maybe overwhelming for them.
Oh, absolutely. And here's the thing, a lot of times when we look at the cards that are dealt to us, it's, man, why did I get this hand, right? And sometimes you forget when you're looking at your hand that there's a reshuffle, and there's going to be lots of reshuffles in our lives. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know however you want to look at it. You can look at the hand that you're dealt, or you can look at it in two ways. As hey, this is the end of me. I'm done. Or there's going to be more hands. And I always knew that there was going to be more hands. And when you have that outlook, somehow, I don't know if you believe in the law of attraction or karma, spirits, energy, and I believe energy is everything and everything is energy. So I at a young age, I actually believed in that, and literally it's pushed me to where I am. And now when I look at other people that are struggling, I know that I've been there, so I can share my experience. And sometimes when you share that experience with people and they can relate to you, then they can begin to have hope. I mean, this is incredible. Isn't it incredible how the name Mark Hope? I should have the name Mark Hope. You should be Mark Jackson, and I should be Mark Hope, because I absolutely love that word and what it means. Without hope, you are pretty much dead. There's
right.
A lot of people,
and that's one of your hashtags. I am hope.
I am, exactly.
We were kind of destined to hook up.
Is that crazy?
We've got
Is
we've
that
got
coincidence?
similar ideals on a lot of things. You know, you and I have had many talks in far as business goes, and as far as doing some joint ventures that you and I have been working on, and it always comes down to the same, you know, the same streamlined philosophy of getting good by doing good. You know, there's people that make money and they don't have any regard for other people, but there's a lot of people that consistently make money, and win-win relationships are lasting relationships. And I know that, you know, the things that you're involved in and the things that I'm involved in are wrapped around helping people, whether it's small businesses that, you know, we help with the marketing that they need to be successful, or on the credit side of things where people are really trying to pick up the pieces of their lives that maybe they didn't do so well with, you know. And when you break something and you build it back up again, it comes back stronger. And the credit repair thing, that's the thing that I always think about is, hey, you get beat up and you come back stronger and you don't make the second mistake again. And people can really come back and leave all that past wreckage behind and start getting on with their lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's a saying that your setback is a setup for a comeback. And, you know,
Yeah.
once again, it's perception. I think I just wrote something, and I might have posted something on my Facebook post in regards to that. I like posting like motivational things that have helped me along the way, some philosophies that you can run your life by, things that basically, you know, it relates to us all. And I think it was a Pele quote where he said, success isn't an accident. It's hard work, it's perseverance, it's learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, it's love of what you're doing. And as I, you know, when I saw that the first time, fortunately or fortunately, I was able to get some footage, and I was old enough or young enough at the time. You know, in America, we didn't follow a lot of soccer, but you know, this guy from Brazil, because he had black skin, kind of appealed to me, and I really didn't know some of the things he was saying as a kid, but as an adult, I know exactly what he's saying because I lived it.
Well, and he's the first person we ever saw do that bicycle kick.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He go upside down and kick that
right?
ball. Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you time a ball that's sailing right past you and you say, you know something? I got an idea. I'm going to leave my feet and I'm going to do a kick, and I'm going to kick that ball into the goal that's, you know,
upside
12,
down,
15, 20 yards behind me.
Amazing.
I love it. I love it. The human body, the human brain is so powerful. I think we limit ourselves in a lot of ways, and that's the
true.
difference between those that have an abundant life and those that have a life of scarcity.
Well, and I think a lot of that has to do with just trying it. You know, I mean, you've got to just get in there and you've got to try it, and you've got to fall down and you got to take a scrape, and then you got to get back up and you learn. And
well, as Yoda would say, you just do it. He never tries anything. You remember the scene with he and Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker in the swamps where you had to raise the ship. It's one of my favorite scenes. If you haven't seen that, people that are listening, go Google that. Star Wars. Do, right? There is no try, young Jedi.
Do or do not do.
Every time I watch that, I get goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, and I will tell everybody, please take the opportunity before it fills up. Go out and make friends with Mark Jackson on Facebook and follow what he's doing on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It really is an uplifting experience to be involved in social media with Mark, because he's doing so many things. And one of those things is just to reach out to the community positively. And, you know, you'll be glad you do. You know, and we'll put the link here, a couple of different places to Mark's media, so you can follow along on what he's doing. Now, you're doing the credit repair, Mark, and you're also an ambassador, brand ambassador for motorcycle company, Indian Motorcycles?
Yeah, Indian Motorcycle. Good friend of mine, Lorenzo Ceballos, opened up an Indian motorcycle dealership about 2 months ago in Colorado Springs. once again, that's a nice story in the journey. Maybe I can have Lorenzo come on your show.
Absolutely.
Both of you guys have that long. You two. I mean, you get both of you guys on the camera. He's the Mexican Mark Hope, basically. Same beard, love for life. He grew up as a poor Mexican kid in Carbondale, Colorado.
There you go.
Of all places, right? How do you? I didn't know that. Mexicans migrate to Carbondale, but
I grew up in Carbondale,
really,
actually.
Oh, did you really?
I did, yeah. Basalt, Carbondale, Glenwood Springs. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So
we definitely should. So he's got a dealership he just opened a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And they are looking for a better quality experience over Harley Davidson, I think.
Well, yeah, I guess everybody wants to think that their product is better. I've ridden both. I tend to enjoy the Indian motorcycle, but one of the things I like about their philosophy is they don't compare. And what I love about Lorenzo is like Lorenzo's driven Harley pretty much his whole life, actually. He and his wife are. So Lorenzo, I told you he had a pick and shovel in his hand, but he was a miner basically. He went on without a college education to own 2 gold mines.
Wow.
So he's one of the foremost speakers when it comes to mining of gold in the world. Worked mines in Tanzania as well as many of the states here in the United States as well as Mexico. So he's seen it all, and he and his wife pretty much have been retired for the last 5 or 6 years and been riding Harleys all over the place. So if anybody had like a take on the two, it would be him. But yeah, not to compare motorcycles, but if you want to ride, just ride, enjoy whatever you ride, and be safe. And Indian motorcycle right there on Corporate Drive, Woodman Road. His son Tito is actually one of the managers there. Worked on both Harleys and Indian motorcycles for all of his adult life. He's getting married this Saturday. So
well, when before the show, I was talking to you and I said, "Hey, is there anything that I can't say?" And you foolishly said that I could say whatever I want. And so what I'd like to say is, what if any of my listeners want to call up, if they reach out to you for an Indian motorcycle, do they get a deal?
Absolutely. I'm going to give them the Mark Hope deal.
There you go.
And literally, this is no BS. You can check out the MSRP on any of the bikes. I'll give you a better deal than anybody, I promise you, because I'm not in the business to make a living. I love those people that do make a living selling motorcycles. I have my license to sell a motorcycle, but I don't rely on motorcycle sales to pay my bills. Does that make sense?
Well, if my wife wasn't listening to this podcast right now, I would probably say, look, I'll be down there to get one of those motorcycles. I think they're great.
Well, just break that part out, right?
Yeah, we'll have to edit that out.
Yeah, edit that.
But I will sneak down there to see you for sure. And we definitely should have him on the show. I think that'd be an exciting show. I love those great success stories.
Yeah, Mark, I promise you will love having Lorenzo Ceballos on your show.
Yeah, well, let's definitely do that.
And his heart's as big as ours for people. I love that about him.
Well, I know you got to get going to your other meeting, and I just want to make sure we really appreciate you coming on the show, and we'll have all the links and everything into the podcast and the Google Play and the iTunes and all that kind of stuff. We want to make sure that people can reach out to you and be able to talk to you about all the great stuff that you're doing. I know we didn't touch on a lot of the businesses that you are involved with, but if somebody wants you to rep their brand, or if they want you to get involved and put some positivity into their business, they can always reach out to you, and there's things that you will do and things that you won't do. Am I correct in saying that?
There's always things that I won't do, Mark. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
As long as it's ethical, fair, and everybody's winning. I'm a total believer in win-win. If I'm winning and you're losing, it's a loss.
But if somebody needs a little help getting their business boosted or whatever, they can reach out to you, or they can call me at Marketing Hope, and we can fix them up with whatever it is they might need, some charity function, or if they need a MC or some kind of thing. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Well, listen, it was a distinct pleasure, and I can't wait to have you back on the show again.
We have to do it again. Promise that you'll invite me back, please.
No, definitely.
We can dig deeper. This was an introduction to Mark Jackson. We'll dig deeper.
I like to hear
some of the
that.
things that could benefit your listeners. I love to do that.
Absolutely, and I know those stories are there because I've talked to you. Thank you so much, and I wish you didn't have to rush off to your thing, but we'll definitely book you again for another show.
Love you, man. Thanks,
All right,
Mark.
love you back. Have a good one.
Bye, buddy.
Mark Jackson, everybody.
There we are.
He really is just a great guy. That, once you get to know him, he is just so positive and,
That's great. He sounds like a really nice, decent guy.
He is a great guy, and the things that he does to help the community, and, he's a very humble guy too, because I've been involved in several charity things with him, and he's like a ghost. He kind of shows up and does his thing, and he's not really looking for a bunch of accolades out of what he's doing, but he's helping young kids out there, and Arthur Mares is chiming in. He was listening while he's cooking dinner, but he's definitely going to try to utilize him and his knowledge and help. That's good. That's a great mentor for you, Arthur. Arthur is the owner of Colorado Pro Shine. And actually, we might want to have him on the show one of these days because he's one of the up and coming, detailers in Colorado. And he does the ceramic coating. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
It's like a wax job, but it puts a really hard turtle shell coating on the car, and it bakes it in. It makes it really strong. But he's detailed everybody's cars that I know of for the last at least 10 years. ColoradoProShine.com.
Let me get a link to that in here.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But Robbie chimed in and said that I should keep the Harley. And my question to Robbie is, why would you only have one motorcycle? I mean, you need to have several motorcycles, and one of them certainly can be a Harley for sure. Since 2007, Arthur says. You going to put the link up there for him?
Yeah, I've got their Facebook right here.
Good.
And Mark Jackson's awesome. Thank you for being on the show there. He chimed back in.
Yeah, he's got a meeting that he's got to attend, but I think maybe he's listening to the show while we're waiting.
Great.
But what a great guy. And, you'd think somebody with all that success, would be, kind of hard to deal with or whatever, but he is just the nicest guy that you ever want to know. And it's amazing. It's amazing to me, especially with all the people that I know and all the people that we interview on the show, given what the show's content is about. I have a tendency to bump into these very super successful people, and one of the threads that goes through most of these interactions is that they grew up poor. A lot of them really had to scratch and work for stuff.
Really?
And I think that kind of gets into your fiber a little bit. I mean, if you learn how to work when you're young, maybe it gives you a head start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dead site?
I'm trying to get on the Pro Shine site, and I'm having some difficulties. So.
Well, you got the Facebook.
I got Facebook in there. That's good. We'll start with that.
Maybe you should call Marketing Hope and get some work done on that.
Someone needs to get this looked at for sure. So just go with the link in the comments there for Colorado Pro Shine.
But if you do need your car worked on, he is the most reasonable price of anybody. Do the full interior, the detail on the outside. And the cool thing about Pro Shine is they're mobile. So they'll come to you. If you want your
I think they've done my cars in the past.
Well, I think so.
I think he did the tinting on my cars, and then he did detailing, and he did a great job, great work.
They've been around forever.
For sure. Well, okay. So what else we got going on then today?
I don't know.
Got some open phone lines too. If we want to do that,
Yeah, you can open the phone lines up if you want to.
let's give me a second. I'll get that going.
Daniel always wants to have something to work on.
Otherwise, I would just sit here with a cocktail in my hand.
Like you normally do.
Yeah, I wish that was true, but it is not.
But there's a real tendency to get down on yourself when you're facing a failure or things aren't just going the way that you think they should. It's kind of like Mark was saying. He started off as a tackling dummy for all these other football players until he
Right.
kept at it. He kept working on it until all of a sudden he's a starter for the Denver Broncos in the NFL.
That's
I
amazing.
mean, if there's no bigger testament to Lee says, honored to be even remotely associated with this guy. This guys, Lee's a good guy. He's our car builder. He's working on the Hope for Homes Corvette. We're going to be doing a Corvette that is going to be a heavily modified Corvette that's going to be one of a kind. We're going to build the car, and we're going to do a journal and a film and photo, catalog of what happens to the car as it goes through the build, and then we're going to auction it off for a charity. And we'll probably have AJ at Colorado Pro Shine detail it up for us, and then the new owner can drive it off.
That's awesome.
Something that benefits kids. There's Adaptive Adventures, maybe, and
Yeah.
we have a couple of other charities picked out that are really, who we didn't mention in the beginning of the hour, and I was thinking about somebody that helps kids and somebody that's donated to things, and that's Wave the Grain.
That's true.
Allison and Scott over there at Wave the Grain, talk about good people, and talk about hard workers, and then you face this failure or setbacks, and the people that end up winning, the people that end up succeeding are the ones that just don't quit.
Right.
You go and, like you were talking to me today, you're talking about having a bad day, and you're talking about going through whatever you're going through, and how you have to keep a positive attitude and
That's
be
right.
grateful about things. And, I'd like to take a little bit of credit for maybe putting those little thoughts in your head. When you face that adversity, think about what what isn't going right in your life. Think about how lucky you are. A wonderful wife and beautiful kids and wonderful talents and all these businesses and this show and all the things that we're doing, and, with a chance to really benefit people and help them, mentor them along. I had a guy tell me today that his success is because of the stuff that I've had taught him, along the way.
It's just good. It's just a great collection of good advice and a good way to just keep things in perspective. It's so easy to just kind of get down on yourself or get down on things and say, oh, it's just terrible. Everything's terrible. But then you really have to put it in perspective and have a little appreciation for where you're at and where things are. And,
Absolutely.
and it helps. It definitely helps.
Well, and that kind of goes back to be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind to people and be positive. And a lot of times that includes you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be
Sometimes.
kind to yourself. Give yourself a break.
Yeah. It's so easy to give advice to everybody else and tell them what to do, but then taking that advice on yourself and taking that medicine, it's harder to do sometimes.
Allow yourself to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Apologize for them. Make, corrections. Make amends if necessary if you hurt somebody's feelings or something didn't go the right way. But then, absolutely just let it go. You know,
Right.
get on with your next day. There's a story about this this journeyman carpenter that worked with this old carpenter, and when he started on the job, he the old carpenter said, "Hey, why don't you come to my house for dinner?" And so on Monday nights, he would go over to his house for dinner, and he noticed that there was a tree in between the street and the house, and the older man would touch the tree before he walked in the house, and he had a wonderful experience with the guy's wife and kids and a wonderful home life and dinner, and then you know, they were working during the week, and he was training them, and you know, every Monday they would always go back to this guy's house, and he'd have them over for dinner. And you know, some days were good and some days were exasperating. There, sometimes they had troublesome bosses they were working for, and a terrible day, and were getting yelled at. But he just couldn't believe how the guy's attitude, the old man's attitude, changed when he got home. And he watched him every time he walked in the house. He touched that tree. And finally, the guy said, "Look, I got to ask you some questions." He said,
"What is up with the tree?
Why do you touch that tree every time when you come home? And how is it that we're having such a bad day some of those days, and then you don't even tell your wife about it? You don't even talk about it. You're just in there laughing like nothing happened." And the old guy told the young guy, he said, "You know, it's for the same reason." He said, "That tree's my trouble tree. And when I'm walking towards the house, I leave my troubles on the branch of that tree when I touch it.
Right.
And then I don't have them when I'm home with my kids and my wife. And then when I leave in the morning and you don't see it, but I touch the tree again and I pick up my troubles and I handle them and I deal with them. And I carry them with me all day and I work with them. But then when I come back home, I leave them outside. I never take my troubles inside the house." And to me, that is a huge exercise to go through, because you need to teach yourself that, you know, there's a home base. You know, the world will get you twisted in knots and try to get you to where you're feeling bad about everything and try to bring that muddy, infectious mess into your home, around your babies, around your dog, around your spouse. And you just can't let it. It's off limits. I don't do it.
Right.
I try not to do it. Obviously I'm the furthest thing away from being somebody that's perfect, but you know, I try really hard not to bring it in my house. You know, there's frustrations that I have on a daily basis, you know.
Yeah.
But I try not to hold on to it too long. But I definitely try not to bring it in the house. You know, I leave those muddy, emotional boots outside the house and put them on in the morning, and you know, I think that that's a
always be positive. Yeah. Arthur chimes in and says that's a very hard thing to do, which is true. Easier said than done, but definitely very good advice.
And I'm glad you're listening, Arthur, because you have a wonderful family, you have a beautiful wife, and you have beautiful kids, and absolutely have every reason to be happy when you come home.
Yeah.
He's a lucky guy. And his babies are cute. Like my granddaughter. No. So cute. Chris Garamoni and Dan Goodnight are checking in. I think Dan's checking in from hunting camp, probably. And Chris was out working his dog earlier. He's got one of those blue ribbon special hunting dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's good. Hey, you know, we can take these headphones off now if you want.
Oh, because we don't have any callers.
Not right now. But if somebody does want to call, give us a call. And I didn't want to interrupt before, but the lines are open. And give us a call, 720-507-1939. If for no other reason than to make Mark put the headphones back on.
Big Papa hates to put on the headphones.
He hates the headphones. But give us a call. Give us a call. Tell us about what's going on in your world. Tell us what's going on with your business, how you turned your passion into a side hustle and side hustle into a business. We'd love to hear those stories. I know a lot of you people who are out there have done that. especially the ones watching. So give us a call. Tell us your story. We'd love to hear from our listeners.
Bradley wants to call in.
Maybe you should. Yeah, you should call in, Bradley.
Bradley, call in. I know the screener. He'll let you call in. He won't screen you. Bradley is one of our Parker people. You should call in. He's a big supporter of the show.
So far, nothing.
Dan Goodnight is in Kansas.
No?
He's hunting the deer as they're going north.
Just come over to my house. There were some ran across Lincoln when I was coming over.
Is that right?
Days ago, yeah. I was leaving in the morning, and they're just hopping across. No, not a care in the world.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of hunters.
No, you're not allowed to do that in town. You gotta go out.
Some people do, I think, but
no, they seem pretty confident and comfortable. Pam Staker joined. Hi, Pam.
Talk about a good egg. She's a good egg.
All right. We're still waiting for Bradley. He has not. Did you spill? Oh. Okay, now the phone's ringing. We're going to go ahead and get your headphones on.
Call from.
Yo, this is Bradley calling in.
To accept, press 1. To send.
Mr. Bradley.
Hello.
Hello. You're on the Mark Hope Show.
You guys got a great show tonight, as every night.
Well, thank you, Bradley. Thanks for calling in. And you're a big supporter of the show, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you. So, you want to know how, I operate a side business. You could call it a side hustle, but I started this business in 2016. I was looking for a coffee mug online, and I just couldn't find something that worked out for me. And I said, hey, I'm going to 5 shops, and all 5 shops online have the same merchandise. Let me provide people with more of a assortment. And I did that, and now I sell about 350 different styles. And
Bradley, I saw that on your feed the other day. That was you had some like Christmas balls that you clip in your beard or something on there.
Yeah, those are some of my other unique gifts that I sell.
And what's the name of the store again? Let's put that out there for everybody.
The Fugly Mug Company.
That's right, the Fugly Mug. I was trying to.
Oh, come on! Do you need a little fugly in your life?
Oh, I always have plenty of supply of that. I'm like Josh Martin. We're the Fugly brothers. I mean, we maybe Mayor Mike Wade. He could use some extra fugliness. He's a pretty boy next to me and Josh. But
oh yeah, my beard is not as long as you guys, but I'm sure y'all need some of those.
I got a link up there for everybody to see.
Yep, I started that business, and now it's a growing business. It is a side hustle, but it's grown, and I'm in different marketplaces, and it's just you find out what's working and you keep at it, and what's not working, you take that and use that as leverage to make your business drive forward.
And Bradley, that it's just on this show you get a huge accolades from us for that kind of thing. People that are just going out there and they're creating things where there wasn't something before. Those are my people. Those are, the people that are actually learning how to do an e-commerce site or learning how to do the drop shipping, how the things work, providing extra customer service, making sure your customers are getting a good deal and making sure that they're finding the things and really providing that, extra value. I think that's awesome. And I just love people that are utilizing their time to make money.
And I'll tell you, if you got fanciers that are looking for things like that, start out with different things on your website and just figure out which items are working and which items are not. Do a little homework, and when you find that one item, you've found your niche. It takes time. It's not going to take overnight. You know, I think we're inundated with ads on social media of
Sure.
these people that make $100,000 in their first week. And you know what? That's great, but it's 0.2%. I think, you know, just if one thing fails, don't give up. Just use that as leverage of success. And
That's
it's
perfect.
just like if you fail at a goal, take that failure and use that to exceed your goal the next time around.
And just keep going until it works.
Absolutely. Great.
Now, do you do all of the coding on the website and all of the technical stuff, or do you hire that out?
I actually have a platform that I do everything on. And I have a number of relationships with suppliers that do all my drop shipping and mail orders for me on my behalf. And I also do a lot of, some of my mugs happen to be print on demand. So from
So you kind of had to
inventory
learn how to do all of that stuff as you went along. That's great.
Yeah, it's been a great ride, and I continue to go forward.
Well, Bradley, thank you for calling in, and
That's
we
awesome.
really appreciate your loyal listenership and your commentary and friendship. And I know that you've been down to the computer store at Action Computers, and so I appreciate the support.
Absolutely. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
All right, thanks for
Bradley.
calling in.
Have a
We'll
good
talk
one.
to you soon. See, that's what this show's all about.
Absolutely.
I love to talk about people that are hustling, people like Bradley that are they're doing their thing.
Yeah, they had an idea and said, "Hey, how can I make this work?" And start with one thing and just add and until, you know, it's a whole deal.
Ryan Dodson says he loves the show. Well, thank you, Ryan. I'm just not a big hobby guy. You know, I ride some motorcycles and maybe play some cards or whatever. But my hobby is, doing business and starting businesses and working with people that are doing businesses. And to me, I think if more people were really kind of turning to those kind of things as a hobby, like one of the things that's taken the country by storm is, Dave Ramsey and his radio show.
Sure, yeah.
People are getting out of debt, and that's their hobby. They listen to that radio show, and they work together as a family and get out of debt. And I just can't think of a better hobby to do than kind of bettering your situation, especially for people that have a crappy boss, they have a bad situation, but they have to go into work every day because they're week to week.
Sure.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm going to reply here to Ryan.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Read it.
Well, Ryan says our business is dedicated to helping people's lives and in business, auto referrals, business acquisitions, and RGS improvements. We have helped a good amount of people, and it's all about assisting people, and that sounds great.
He's one of us.
Ryan, give us a call. Tell us more. And anybody else who's listening who wants to give us a call, 720-507-1939.
We're going to be on the air for another 15 minutes.
Yep, we got about 15 minutes left.
Or less.
Let's see how long we do. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of time. One of the things that we didn't calculate, when we have the show time, is this is when Monday Night Football is.
Right.
So maybe we shouldn't have picked Monday Night Football to go against.
That's true. What do you guys think? Should we move the show to Tuesday?
I wonder if we should do Tuesday night instead.
Someone is calling. Hold on.
Call from
Ryan Dodson.
There's Ryan.
press 1.
Ryan, it is. Ryan, you're on the show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Ryan, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in.
Nah, I've been peeping in. I've been lurking for a while. You guys do great work, man.
That's awesome. Why don't you tell us about your business and what you do?
Yeah, so Astrello LLC, what we do is kind of, I gave you a summary, but it's all about assisting people and helping people better their lives. And I saw this particular show about the credit repair service, and
Right.
definitely in that like-minded field. And it's all about helping people and taking care of people. I was in the auto industry for 10, 11 years, and made it all the way to a GM management role, and wanted to do my own thing. So we have right now we have multiple different arms within our industry that we're reaching out and helping people improve their lives. So
Tell me what you're doing.
So ideally, one of the things, obviously, with me in the automotive side is been focusing on helping people make sure they get a good deal, because in the auto industry, there are what they say a couple of different ways to skin the cat, and I make sure and help the customer so they get the good deal on both sides.
Now, are you a broker, or do you just help negotiate a car deal for someone?
I am a broker. I have my wholesale license, but also I help and go inside the dealerships and help clients buy vehicles, as well as help sell their vehicles as well. So
okay. Well, that seems like that would.
One side.
I think people really need somebody to help them get rid of their car.
Yeah.
Because it's such a pain in the neck to try and get rid of a car.
Brian, the other thing too is,
Go ahead.
the thing is to kind of keep in mind about all that is, with being in the auto industry, car salesmen, men and women, they're in the trenches negotiating every single day. So they obviously have better skills in that regard than your typical consumer would. So, my job is to go in there and bring the peace and make sure that the customer gets a good deal.
So you're a kind of a buyer's agent in that situation.
Yep.
Now, tell me about the business acquisitions. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Do you actually buy and sell businesses too?
Smaller ones, if I collaborate with other ones through the network that I have, and basically help form meetings together and see if there's any sort of common ground that two businesses can get together and collab and make money.
Huh?
I've done that for a good amount of time here since 2016. And particularly one of my projects I'm working on right now is helping small mom and pop service departments, like your mom and pop store. You go and get your oil changed, not the grease monkeys per se, but let's say the person down the street or whatever.
Okay.
Helping them if they've got a good financial background and they're in good health, and trying to transition them to where they can operate on the variable side and sell some cars and make some money along the way. So,
there you go.
So I've been doing that as well, and then helping people credit repair service, and then revenue generation systems, which is helping with today's market and helping people be more transparent in their sales process so they can sell more units and make more money in their industries. So
well, that's awesome.
There's a lot going on. Sorry.
No, that's great. Daniel, you got his link up in the show notes?
I got it right there in the comments, and I can't edit the show notes right now, but I will as soon as I
Ryan,
can.
we're going to make sure that your business gets a link to the iTunes, the show podcast, and the Facebook Live, as well as the YouTube video and the Google Play and all that kind of stuff. And we really appreciate your calling in. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. No, never asked for that, but if you guys still want to do that, that's great.
No, we're here to support small businesses.
Website.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey,
absolutely.
What's
the website?
Yeah, the website's Ace Dredlow, ACEDREDLO.com. And our motto is Ace is on the case. So anything that you need, we're here for you. But love the show,
awesome.
Guys. Love what you guys do. And keep rocking it.
Well, Ryan, thanks for calling in, and keep taking care of those people. That's what we like.
Absolutely, guys.
Take care,
Have
buddy.
a wonderful day.
Thanks for calling in, man. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Well, there you go.
There you go.
That guy's hustling, too.
He is. I got both of his things there in the comments.
He's got like 5 or 6 different businesses going.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, all kinds of stuff happening.
But I mean, that goes along with the theme that we were talking about. You just got to keep going. You know,
Right.
sell cars or try to use your skills in a different way to get involved in, selling businesses. That's what the Better Business brokers do. I wonder if that's how they got their start. Of course, Better Business brokers,
Yeah.
just iced tea, folks. Lemonade. I'm going to get caught on that. He said iced tea, but it looked like vodka.
Right.
But, Mike Nuanez and those guys over at Better Business Brokers, they're awesome, but they're huge. They're one of the biggest brokerage firms that I know of, especially here in Colorado, working with small businesses. But a guy like Ryan that just called in, I mean, he's getting his gig started. Like he said, he's working with people, getting them, hooked up together. And a lot of times just getting in there and working with people, that's the most important thing you do.
It's all about working with the people, no matter what you're doing. Excuse me.
PJ Sierra,
Yeah.
Who's he from?
It's from K9.
Texas K9
Academy.
University.
Texas
and those
K9
guys
University.
are awesome. And you should also friend them on Facebook if you want to watch some people that are working with some dogs. They do from, little puppy training to bomb dogs, police dogs. They even have a steer that they have trained to kneel down and take a biscuit.
And what is the name of the steer? Can we remember?
Cheeto.
Is it Cheeto?
Cheeto and Frito.
Cheeto and Frito. Okay.
Cheeto is, I think, the steer, and then the calf is Frito.
I gotcha.
But I love it when we have the call-in segment of the show and the people with their small businesses call in. I love hearing from people that are building things. That's where I come from, and I started several businesses out of the basement of my house, and those are some of my best memories, building those smaller businesses, and especially ones where I didn't have a lot of money.
Sure.
It's a big difference. Go out and spend $500,000 on something and make it happen. If you're careful and you do the right things, yeah, that's easy to do. And I'm saying that from experience. I've done that, and it's easier to do. Cheeto and Frito.
There you go.
That's the thing.
Cheeto and Frito.
But when you have to bootstrap something up and you come home after work and you're working on your day job all day, then you're taking care of your kids, then you're cleaning up the house and you're making everything happen, and then you have to sit down with a shoestring budget and make your dream happen, those are the people that have my respect. Those are the people that I know when I was doing that, I felt really, really fulfilled and really, really had a sense of accomplishment. Even in those days when I was doing a $50 deal, it would be more important than whatever I do today for $5,000.
Sure.
Because, that's your jam and you're making it happen for yourself. It wasn't some, boss that you're working for or whatever. I mean, you're really building that future, and you're changing the course of your family history just because you're building something for the future. And
We got to take a quick break here.
Street teams.
And because the phone's ringing. AJ is calling. So let's see if we can get him on there.
Call from
AJ.
To accept, press 1.
AJ, you are live on the Mark Hope Show.
AJ,
Hey, what's going on, guys?
how is the best detailer in Denver?
I'm doing good. Just busy.
Let me tell you something. You have my admiration. You're like a son to me, and I've said that. Now I've said it on the air, live on the radio, and I love you. And I've worked with you and your wife quite a bit, and hopefully I have a little corner in that success.
Yes,
later
for
on
sure.
we'll look back and say, Big Papa told us to do that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's listening to the show and telling everybody the things that you guys do and everything that you do for you've done for me is proof. Like, you've helped me start my business back up, and gave me the push to pursue it on a I guess a heavier scale than just doing it here and there. I actually do it now for a side business. So
that warms my heart, brother. And when you're ready to take it to the next level, I'm going to be the first investor. You know that. And I wholeheartedly support what you're doing and the quality that you do it in and your integrity. And you are definitely one of the people that I talk about that is just making things happen. Changing your family, the course of your family, and your kids are going to be able to look up to their dad because you're really building something. At the same time, I mean, you're cracking a day job and doing a great job. I know your wife works full time, and you guys are making things happen and then doing extra. And that's the testimony. We need to have you on for a full show. You need to let me know one of these times when we can get on your calendar. I want to talk to people about the detailing business and how they can get details scheduled and the mobile service because if you have time. The problem with AJ is he has so much business that he can't do it all. So are you even taking customers?
It's tough right now. So right now, just because the weather is a little crappy, I'm playing catch up right now. But I haven't taken any new customers in probably a couple months, just because I'm catching up from the work that I do have built up. And
that's wise. I mean, you don't want to grow so big that you disappoint the customers, and that's a really wise thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely tough though. Working a full-time job, coming home, detailing. Going home super tired, and then spending a little bit of time with my family, and then going to sleep late, and then getting back up and
kissing those little babies on the head when they're already asleep. But they will appreciate having a dad like that later on in life. But I mean, you guys are doing the real deal, and I applaud you guys. And
we appreciate all the help that you've given us too.
Well, and I will continue to do that. Let's have you on for a full show, though. I think a lot of people would like to kind of learn about details and how that works. When you get a little bit more, maybe when you hire some more people, or kind of get that stretched out. When you get your shop or whatever, maybe we'll do a whole show and we'll kick that off. But for the time being, Daniel, you put the Colorado Pro Shine Facebook in there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's up there.
And do you want to send out a phone number, AJ, or no?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, my phone number is 720-300-9735. You can call it anytime you need to.
And AJ is
while I'm sleeping.
AJ is a business that I personally endorse, and so does Marketing Hope and the Mark Hope Show. You will not be disappointed if you do business with AJ at Pro Shine, Colorado Pro Shine.
They did great work for me on my car.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we've done. I did your car.
You did my car.
It's been a while, but I did it. Yeah, I remember doing that.
Now, are you headed down to SEMA now, or is that over? Are you getting back from that?
No, SEMA was last week, so we got back from there and spent 4 days out. People, definitely a good idea to make it down to SEMA if you're trying to.
And you keep up on all the latest trends and all the latest things that are going on for your customers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good to do, and it's a lot of socializing and networking with other people in the industry that are also willing to share their knowledge. But you got to make it down there
That's important.
To do all that, yeah.
Well, I promise I'm going to get down there with you another time soon, and we'll go to that Italian place that we like. What is it, Carmine's in the Forum Mall?
Yeah, Carmine's. Yep.
All right, brother. Well, listen, love to the family, and kiss those little babies for me, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for calling in.
All right, thank you guys. Yeah,
Take care.
problem. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
All
right, see you, Daniel.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Daniel's giving me the high sign saying that we're over on time.
It's a little over. That's all right. That's okay. But how do people get a hold of us? Other than just calling the number, but if you want to join the conversation we do during the week, join the Mark Hope Show podcast group, and that's where a lot of the information comes from that we have on the show.
Check into the Hope Show podcast page on Facebook.
I'll have links to both of those up there in a second here. And hopefully I can link right into it. But so follow the group and follow the page and join the group. There's lots of stuff to
look
talk
for
about
marketinghope.com or Marketing Hope Facebook group, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you want to get a hold of us, we're pretty easy to find. And we're every Monday night at 6:30 and try to get on some guests that we think are going to help the listeners. Love to have the small business people that call in, like Bradley and Ryan and AJ tonight. And those are the people that I love to talk to. Those are my street warriors that, like AJ just said, I mean, that kid is working a full-time job and he comes home, works his butt off, goes inside, takes a shower, gives his kids a kiss on the head, and he's providing for his family. And that kid is going to be successful. He's going to be a winner in life because he just refuses to let anybody get him down.
For sure.
And those are my champions. Those small business people, those are who we want to help. Like I was talking to Krisha and Chris from Phantom 8 Tattoo today. And we're going to have them on the show at a later date. And they're hard workers, family people. They own a tattoo shop on Broadway. And they are true artisans of what they're doing, but they're working really hard. You know, that's the key. You have to work. You can't just, be lazy and I don't want to do the show tonight, or I just don't feel like doing a radio show tonight.
You got to,
you
got to show up.
You have to apply your craft, and you just have, it's 98 perspiration and 2% inspiration. And I've always said that there's a lot better looking guys out there than me. There's a lot smarter guys out there than me. There's certainly a lot stronger and richer people than me. But there is nobody that can outwork me. Right. Every night when they go to bed, I keep walking. By the time they get up, I'm 5 miles ahead of them. If they catch up to me and pass me during the day because they're better and faster than me, when they lay their heads down at night, I make up the ground and I catch up to them. And pretty soon, I'm so far ahead of them, they can't catch me even though they're better than me and they're faster than me because they don't want it like I do. And that was my secret to success. And I think everybody listening to this podcast has that recipe if they'd only believe in themselves and just get out there and start doing it. And it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to be pretty, but start doing it, because you can't get to your second day of your new life without making your first day. And the first day is hard.
Yeah, right on.
It is hard. Daniel, thank you for everything that you do, producing the show and making sure that
it is fun.
I don't screw things up around here.
If you could see this half of the studio, then you'd see
it's a big deal.
Kind of some of the crazy stuff that I do over here.
He's a very talented guy. Talk about somebody who's talented at what he does.
It is fun. It is a lot of fun, and thank you all for listening and giving me something to do while the show is going. Otherwise, cocktails. But like us on Facebook. Listen to find the Mark Hope Show podcast on Apple iTunes if that's how you do your podcast. Google Play Store. We're on Spotify and
Podbean.
Podbean. I think you just go to.
And you can ask questions on the podcast show page.
Definitely join the group and like the page. You can
There's
interact on the page.
Leading questionable material on there that will get you talking about some different things and nothing too out of line.
Sure, absolutely. But that is that. Any closing words for anyone?
I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you listening to the show.
All right, that's it for tonight, and we will see you
Pat
next
Sierra,
week.
Never let yourself be out hustled, and that guy's a hard worker.
Never let yourself be out hustled.
Till next time, thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one. Bye.